We've all heard the phrase, it takes a village, but in today's fast-paced world, that village can be difficult to find. Pregnancy is often billed as one of the most precious and rewarding chapters of a person's life. But the reality of the postpartum experience can be overwhelming, lonely, and physically exhausting. According to the CDC, 1 in 8 women report postpartum depression. More than half of those people do not receive treatment. I'm excited to introduce you to a woman working to change that. Stephanie Foley is the founder and chief mom at UZ Care. It's a groundbreaking platform providing parents with clinical and emotional support during this 4th trimester. Thank you for being here, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we're going to get into your app and how that works shortly. But first, I want to start with you. You were an Army veteran, and Army veterans are often trained to face the battlefield, trained to face resilience and prepare for anything. But there was something you couldn't prepare for in your personal life. Take me back to that time.
Yeah, I think I have all the markers of being a tough individual, right? I'm an immigrant, grew up in New York City with a single mom, so got that street smarts. Went to West Point, one of the few women there, and then served for about a decade, both in combat as well as stateside. Then worked at tech companies, being one of the few women as well, and nothing was harder than postpartum. After I had my second child, I actually didn't know, but I had postpartum depression. And we know that 85% of women in America experience some kind of perinatal mood anxiety disorder. And it took an intervention from my friends and family to say, hey, what is going on? And it wasn't immediate. It was about a year and 2 years after the birth of my child. Yeah.
What can we do to help assist?
Yeah, I think.
What should we be watching out for?
In terms of markers of irregularity with the new mom or birthing person, I would say it's important to just notice that if something with them is off. Actually, my partner was the one that spotted that I was off because.
When you say off, if you don't mind sharing,
yeah.
What was that moment?
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment where on a Friday night, I was driving from Seattle to Tacoma with 2 babies in the back, just so that they could fall asleep. They were crying, I was crying, and there was a split second where I thought to myself, what if I just end it all right here, right? And for me, that was a wake-up call for me. That I was like, oh my goodness, I need help. And interestingly enough, I still didn't get help until my friends told me and my family members told me that I needed help. So I think it's important to recognize, but also have that, your village to be like, hey, maybe it's time. How do we help you? That intervention, yeah.
What were some of those initial first signs that really started to stick out to you or your loved ones?
Yeah, I think the symptoms are very acute, right? So you're not having a heart attack or having a stroke, but the symptoms are so acute in a way that I didn't know that, I just felt off. I wasn't myself. And I don't know if you know this, but postpartum is the biggest hormonal shift a human can experience in their life, more than menopause, more than anything else. And so, and we're just expected to operate business as usual. And so for me, I didn't know I had this anxiety and this depression, and I was just operating like how I did before I had my children. So.
And parents spend 9 months preparing for this pregnancy, and then you go to the hospital, you have your baby. Yep. Why do you think that the healthcare system essentially drops the ball after having that child and having that baby?
Yeah, I like to say, when you're pregnant, you are held on a pedestal, but after you give birth, you're invisible. Wow. Because all the attention gets redirected, moms included. We redirect our care and attention to the baby rather than ourselves. And what we like to say at UZ Care is self-care is baby care. And oftentimes, it's not just the healthcare systems, it's our culture. We're not taking care of ourselves in a meaningful way.
Okay, so for the mothers watching who feel like they're drowning, Tell us about UZ Care and how it helps and how it can offer some solutions for these new parents and moms.
Yeah, so our platform, we vet perinatal care specialists, and so that we're creating a bridge for them to connect. And it's a transparent platform where moms can discover, book, and manage their perinatal care experience from the beginning of creating a care plan to actually finding the right perinatal care provider that they want, all in one place, and actually pay for it. And if there's rescheduling, all of that stuff occurs on the platform.
When you look back at your journey, being the mom in that car to now with your two amazing kids, this amazing booming business,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
You know, I've had a lot of careers in my life, and I think the thing that drives me is purpose, change, and making an impact on people's lives. And coming from a lived experience of surviving postpartum and, you know, making postpartum accessible to everyone, regardless of your color, gender, zip code, socioeconomic background, is my mission. And I feel very proud to have served families. And I want to continue to do that so that everyone can get the care that they deserve.
Oh, wonderfully said. From the front lines of service to the front lines of motherhood. Stephanie Foley, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
UZ Care was chosen by the South by Southwest Austin Festival as a pitch finalist in its 2026 competition. It's a coveted recognition thousands of new business owners apply for each year.